Guy, we were just talking about the signs of the summer starting to be over, and the fairs are definitely a good sign. Another sign, especially for us in Northeast Ohio, is
Football fans, yes.
yeah, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Festival, which is kind of like the unofficial kickoff to the NFL season. And man, guy, this is next week, right?
Right. Next, I believe, Friday will be August 1st, a week from Friday. And that'll be smack dab in the middle of the Hall of Fame weekend in Canton. They're going to have a jacket ceremony for the new inductees. And then on the second, they'll have the parade and the induction ceremony at Tom Henson Stadium. I was there last year when the Champions Zone Randy Gradishar was inducted,
Yeah,
covering for Mahoning Matters.
yeah, we were both, actively in the Mahoning Valley news scene, and it was a big weekend for them. Yeah, as you said, you had, one of Mahoning Valley's own again.
Right. The highlight was I got to meet a producer from ESPN, and he got me to meet Chris Berman and Tom
Nice,
Jackson.
nice.
And Chris, of course, emceed the induction ceremony.
Yeah, what are we looking at this year for the Enshrinees? Is there somebody that sticks out this year?
You know, I'm kind of the Baseball Hall of Fame is this coming weekend
Right.
in Cooperstown, and I'm always fixated in former Pittsburgh Pirate and Cincinnati Reds who just passed away. Dave Parker is going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
in, and that kind of blew my mind of all the football inductees. I don't for the life of me can name one of them.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not a big stellar class. Last year Johnson from Texas, there was a big Texas contingent there, and Chicago Bears, Steve McMichael, who has since passed away, uh,
What it's
inducted,
what it's
as well as a kick returner from the Bears.
yeah,
And
Devin Hester, which
so
is
there were
kind of
two, yeah, Hester. So there was two Bears, and there was a big contingent from Chicago. I remember riding on the bus. They park them at the Stark County Fairgrounds, of all places, and then bus you over to the Hall of Fame complex. And I remember a lot of Chicagoans on that bus ride. It was in the middle of a horrific storm that delayed the induction by a few hours.
yeah. I mean, let's look at this list. I mean, there's one that sticks out locally. Antonio Gates, he was a basketball player.
Oh, Kent State basketball fame,
Yeah.
San Diego tight end.
Yeah, I don't think he played much, if any, football for Kent State, but he kind of became an NFL star. It was an interesting story. Other than that, man, I mean, there's names that I would recognize from growing up, but nobody that really sticks out. Like Eric Allen, he was a longtime cornerback.
Right.
He was good. I I don't know how dominant he was.
Right.
Jared Allen, he played for a couple teams. Probably would know him best from the Vikings defensive end.
Right.
And Sterling Sharp. Now we always think about
Green Bay Packer.
Yeah.
Legend, right.
It was funny. Sharp only played 7 years.
Right.
But he was pretty good for 7 years.
He was, I believe, Brett Favre's favorite target.
Yeah. A couple of events to talk about quick. Nickelback. They redid the stadium, so they're having concerts there now, and they usually have like one big rock or country show. Nickelback's going to be the band. It's interesting. A lot of people criticize Nickelback, but they are a pretty well-known band, so it'll be
not as bad as Coldplay, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm talking about that in the upcoming podcast. We'll have to touch on that next week. That's probably going to be still talked about a lot. Yeah, watch who you hold if they have a.
I guess Nickelback was the predecessor of Coldplay jokes. I guess they kind of just grew on people in a bad way.
Yeah, definitely. There is an autograph session if you're into that. There's 40 Hall of Famers. These are all paid though. The fees are usually between $10 and $100.
And the Gold Jacket banquet, I guess, is a by invitation only.
Yes,
that's on Friday night. where
Yes.
they actually receive their gold jackets. And that's at the
Um,
Canton Civic Center downtown.
yeah, yeah, and they have a round table.
Right.
Uh,
That's,
and-
I think, before the banquet. I'm not sure if it's at the Civic Center. It might be at the Hall of Fame proper where they can meet the media.
yeah, and with the round table, there is a part that the fans can go to, and it's kind of like a luncheon, and the Hall of Famers kind of gather around the table, kind of round table format, and they swap stories and do other stuff like that.
I remember the Gradishar. That's where we got most of the Gradishar quotes because he didn't really say much during the
Yeah,
induction. I mean, you're time limited there, and especially was I felt a little rushed because of the weather uh, delay last year. So I don't
yeah,
think each uh, inductee got their shrift. But there's no Steelers or Browns, so that means it won't be as massive of a crowd. I know when the Steelers or Browns are inducted, like Joe Thomas, it was a big crowd. I went to the Hall of Fame game featuring the Browns and Jets, and that was a massive affair. It was just a jam-packed stadium. It's a nice little stadium. The NFL has really put some money into it, but I learned last year the NFL really doesn't have ownership to the Hall of Fame. That is a private entity, and the people of Canton really, uh, have a lot of say into what goes on during that weekend.
the Hall of Fame game. Not the greatest football game. It kind of, again, to kick off the season. I mean, people are interested in that part of it. This year, Lions against Chargers. So you might see some Lions fans down for
Right,
that.
right.
Um,
There must be a Lion Hall of Famer going in. They usually like to,
I let's say, I don't know. Jared Allen played for a couple
because
teams.
I know the year Joe Thomas got in,
Yeah.
they played the Jets, and Joe Klecko was the other defense versus offensive lineman. That
See,
was the big deal.
I can't remember where Jared Allen played. I know he played for the Vikings. They say he played for three other teams. I can't remember now which teams he played for. So I don't know
It
if it
could have
was
very well
him.
been a Lion too.
Yeah, I mean, quite possible. Off the top of my head, I don't know. And look it up. There's a ton of events. We're just not going to have time to get to there. There is a fan fest, which is new.
Right. It's right outside on the grounds. They have a skill competition. I know I brought a grandson there a couple years ago, and he could kick field goals, punt, throw the football around, and lots of fun. And of course, there's lots of opportunities to buy souvenirs.
Um, yeah, $45 to get in the museum. That's kind of expensive.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
but,
Um,
but to get on the grounds for fan fest, if you just want to go hang out.
right. Just to
That's
be part of the atmosphere, I would, it's go to the Stark County Fairgrounds, get the free shuttle in, and then just hang around. If you even don't have tickets, just be a part of the atmosphere. I think it'd
it,
be a good time.
it is.
And the parade route goes right by there. That's around,
Yeah,
it's over before noon. I know, so it's sometime in the morning.
there's interesting stories about you might be able to run to a Hall of Famer that if you not ask, they might sign an autograph for you for free. I've always enjoyed when I worked up there writing stories about the parties that would come
Right.
afterwards.
Right. If
Generally,
you go to any of the night spots in Canton, a restaurant, they after the banquet they'll have parties at all the
well,
big places.
Well, they have some private parties for the Hall of Fame inductees that were pretty crazy. I never got to attend when I worked up there, but you always could track them for social media and everything. They had, who was it? Oh, Diana Ross or somebody they brought in to sing at one of the Raiders ones, which was kind of wild. My cousin and his wife, they're prominent business people up in the Canton area. They got invited. They got to know Jerry Jones. So when he went in, they went to the party. It was at some swanky club up there. They brought in Justin Timberlake to sing. And again, this is
Right.
private. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
private
known
parties,
people. Yeah,
invitation only, but there'll be celebrities all through Canton the weekend, the first weekend of August. So if you're out for looking for stars, head for Stark County.
yeah. And again, these are pretty private parties. You have to kind of be in the right place at the right time. But no, they were telling me some stories about that. I was like, whoa, that's kind of wild. Like it was a small club in one of the country clubs in the real
Right.
nice area in Stark County. And so it was a kind of crazy watching Timberlake perform in such a small place. It was kind of wild. So let us know what you think. Now again, if you're not in Ohio, you might be like, "Why would I go?" What do you like best about the Pro Football Hall of Fame festival? I mean, you might be like, "Hey, I'm in California. I'll never make it there in person." Well, do you watch the Enshrinement on TV? Are you into that? Are you into the game? I gotta say, the game's kind of, a lot of rookies play and everything, but
Right.
I mean,
But if you're
it's a
really
cool
into the
football.
NFL, and Canton is conveniently situated between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and if you want to go see a real live old-fashioned NFL training camp, you could go to St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour away from Canton, and that's where the Steelers train. And then if you want to see more Hall of Fames, you can head up Route 77 and go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, if
I'm
you're in the
sure they're
Tigers,
going to be tributing Ozzy Osbourne is
yeah,
passing.
yeah, pretty busy week for pop culture today, to say the least. And Pat McAfee is going to be doing his show Day of the Game too. So that's out there if you want to go check that out. Well, guy, yeah, crazy night. Lots of pop culture over the weekend. Kind of stay tuned to the podcast. We're gonna have segments later tonight, talking about Ozzy Osbourne, the Coldplay. There's been a lot happening. Malcolm Jamal Warner died, which was
Right.
which is surprising and sad to hear.
And you never know what Trump will tweet next.
Yes, usually when I put these podcasts together, sometimes it's hard to find stuff. Today it was like, okay, there's a bunch of stuff. How do I? So we're not all talking about the same thing on different podcasts. So, but Guy, as always, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Check us out. We will be back next week for some more talk. Thanks for checking us out. Have a great day.
Have a good night.